All right, in this video, we're going to take a look at how to establish your own Google My Business website. Now, in order to do this, you need to make sure that you already have a Google My Business listing in place. To access the website tool, you can only access it from the Google My Business website listing. Plus, the Google My Business website actually pulls in data to the website from your GMB listing. So make sure you already have a Google My Business listing already set up and optimized before you get started. And I'm going to walk you through the entire setup process. It should only take a few minutes, especially if you already have most of your business information in front of you. I do recommend that most business owners set one of these Google My Business websites up for their business. There's a couple of tricks that you're going to need to be aware of, but it's just good to have an extra presence for your business out on the web. Especially since this is a Google property, it can't be a bad thing. And again, it's quick and easy to do. So let's take a look at the steps that are involved in getting your Google My Business website set up. As you can see here, I am in the Google My Business interface, and you might end up on the home page, but what we're looking for is the website link on the left-hand side towards the bottom. If you have multiple locations, you may see a link that says Manage Locations. If so, click that. And then you should see, once you select a location, you should see something similar to this, where you have an option to go ahead and click on the website link. So the first thing I want to talk about, this is what your website's going to look like off here on the right. We'll get to that in a minute. But the first thing to discuss is that by default with the Google My Business website, you get a business.site domain. And I'm going to go ahead and click the pencil, and we have our site address, which is flexleads.business.site. That's my business name. I can modify the business name if I would like.
Be very careful when editing this section that you don't replace your main website with this GMB website. So we're actually going to cancel out of this section. Once everything is done, go to your GMB listing under the info link and make sure that your domain name still ends in what it always has and not business.site.
If you wanted to, if you really like this site, and again, I wouldn't recommend this being your main site, but you could make this a .com or a .org or a .net. You can go ahead and set up a regular domain for this site if you so choose. Again, I wouldn't do that. I would use this site as an additional presence out on the web for your business rather than a replacement for your main website. If you're just starting out and you don't have a website, this is better than nothing. And then until you have a chance to get a website built, you can go ahead and use this Google My Business site, and it'll work just fine for you for that purpose, at least until you're able to build up a more professional website. Okay, let's take a look at the site itself. Just a quick overview. Publish button in the upper right. We have my business name, we have a header and hours up here. You can see as I highlight here that I can edit the text off to the left. I'm going to X out of here just so we can see this a little better. This is a call to action button. We'll talk about that in just a moment. We want to edit the header photo. If possible, you want it to be consistent with the rest of your branding. I'll touch on that in a moment as well. This is pretty cool. This is where the Google My Business website pulls posts from my Google My Business posts. And what I do with my posts right here in my Google My Business listing is I just provide brief summaries of my blog posts from my website that people can see when they search for my business and they see my Google listing. So that's what the posts are, and those pull automatically into the Google My Business website. Back to the website. We also have reviews that pull in from the Google listing. This is a bit more in depth. This section I'll get to in a minute. We've got a gallery here. You can have up to, I believe it's 9 or 10 photos for your listing, and a map of the location, contact address, business. All this is pulled from the GMB listing that you've already set up. Okay, so now I'm going to go through these kind of step by step. First off, left-hand column, we have our themes. There are 10 themes that you can choose from. I'm going to go ahead and go with retro and click the check, and it's now the retro theme, which it may have already been actually. Okay, so you can see the changes take effect immediately. If you have a comic book website, this might be a good font. So anyway, yeah, I'll just go with retro, and you can see that it modifies everything just on the fly. And I select the check button and we're good to go. Then the next thing you're going to want to do is edit the text on the site. And like I showed you before, you can click on the text and it will generally open up information on the left side that you can modify. I'm going to change this from Internet Marketing Service in Highlands Ranch to Internet Marketing in Denver, Colorado. Contact us. What contact us will do is send an email to the email listed in your Google My Business listing. Call now. That's what I'm going to use in just a moment. That's probably what most business owners are going to choose. Get directions to your office, get a quote if your business kind of is heavily quote oriented. Make an appointment. You could actually receive text messages or WhatsApp messages if you're set up to do that. I'm just going to do call now, and you can see it automatically pulls in my main phone number. So that's my call to action button. Now let's look at the header photo. By default, I believe the size for the header photo, let's see here actually. I actually couldn't find great information on what works best for header photo dimensions. If I do find that, I'll post it in the comments. Well, I'll post it below the video and also as part of the blog post. I think what worked best for me was 1350 by 760. And let's see here. And you can see it updated the header photo. And that looks pretty decent, and it's consistent with my main website branding. So that's good. As we scroll down, we see there are the updates. These are automatically coming in from the posts. So those are fine. The reviews are fine. Then right here, this is the area of the website where you really get a chance to promote yourself a little bit more. So this is the summary header. I just put SH in there as a placeholder. I'm just going to put about Flex Leads. And then summary body, this is where you actually have a bit of leeway. You can add links, you can add lists, you can format the text a little bit. This is where you can add a little bit more information, a little more free form. It's really the only place on the page where you can really talk about yourself in great depth. You can add, again, I think it's 9 or 10 photos. I'll put the definite amount down below this video, but you can add whatever images are relevant to your business. You can see here I was experimenting with different headers trying to get something that fit properly. Then we've got the contact us with the map, the call now, and everything is in place. You can also access, we're going to go ahead and save those changes. So we have our edits that are in place. I'm going to go ahead and click the check mark. And so everything, is in place. I think 9 gallery photos is the max. Scrolling down, it looks like our listing is pretty much full. You can add things to the gallery by clicking on this photos button off to the left. The more button gives you the option to publish now. There's a lot of different languages available that you can do your Google My Business website in. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and click the publish button. And we're out on the web. So let's take a look, and we can click here, flexleads.business.site or view site. We're going to view our site, and there's our header, our posts. This is the custom information that we set up, and photo gallery, map, and all the other information. So it's just that easy as long as you have everything set up beforehand. Again, the tricky part is that you definitely don't want to accidentally make this the main domain that Google references in Google Maps or Google Search. Okay, let's wrap this up. Let's talk about some Google My Business website pros and cons. First off, it's very easy to create your Google My Business website. It's so easy. In fact, if you already have a Google My Business listing, it's going to pre-populate most of your website from your listing. It's almost like a different way to look at the exact same information. It works on multiple platforms. So if you're struggling with WordPress or something like that, you don't have to worry about this site looking good on tablet or on mobile. It's already set up to do that. So there's no extra work involved. It could be great if you're just getting started. It's just a quick, easy way to just get a presence out there on the internet. You can even put a .com behind it instead of the business.site. There are a lot of limitations though. Let's talk about the cons. It is a one-page website. It's very rigid. You can't customize a whole lot. There's really only one section where you can do any sort of adding a bunch of text or doing text formatting. You can't really track user visits like you could with your very own website on WordPress or something like that. Overall, it's really not going to impress prospects. It's just not really designed to do that. So it's not going to convert any sort of like paid traffic or any sort of visitors that you send to this, because it's not the prettiest website and it's not designed for that purpose. It's designed to just get a simple presence out there. So I do recommend that most business owners go ahead and just publish their own Google My Business website anyway. Despite the cons, it's just so easy to set up and it's another presence for your website. So I would say go for it. If you have any questions or comments, let me know.